Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Three Dads and One Console. We know not.
That doesn't even make
I
any
like how
sense.
you cracked yourself up.
I don't know why that was so
In
stupid.
one console, and then you're the only one that giggles.
Yeah.
We know not every dad can stay up to date with the latest and greatest in video game news that you need to know about. So we are here to do it for you. Remember, this show is kid friendly, so no earmuffs are needed. Now on the show, I am one of your hosts, Waffle Please.
Okay.
Alongside
Hold on. Please stop that.
I don't have any more for you, so don't worry. Alongside the hockey
Magnanimous?
video game backgrounded.
What? Yes, I changed my background. I
Port.
made it more. I made my background a little bit more what I feel is me. You know, we've got Back to the Future, we got Batman, we got video games, but we've got a lot of hockey. You know, for everybody's listening, Court's been like suppressing his hockey, and I don't know why I have. And you know what? It doesn't matter. It's here to stay. I got a red light, goal light. I can actually
Is that gonna go on?
During Bruins games, if they score, that will go off.
You should get one
Beautiful.
for the Leafs, and it just will. You'll never have to change the bulb.
Yeah, it's freaking great. So
Don't even have
yeah,
to
it's
turn
just
on.
it's a new stuff. I've even got my pasta, my March Munch,
Marsh
Love
Munch.
to see it.
and my Jared
Smuggled.
Cheevers mask.
There
I
we
like it.
go.
And then I've even got Jared Cheevers right there.
I like it.
Cheever. Oh, he's right there. There he is, the main man.
Is
I
that,
still can't believe he was there.
I believe it's called Yeri Cheevers. The G is silent.
Cheddar Cheevers. That other voice you hear is the Tampa Bay Ray Pez.
Hey, gentlemen, what's the crack? How we doing? As you can see, I also have my Bruins background. However, Bret the Hitman Hart over on this side, and the Ghostbusters autographed over on that side.
Oh, that's autographed.
Mhm.
That's
So
pretty neat.
everything on
By
the wall,
Slimer?
everything on the wall is autographed. So Ghostbusters, Johnny Busick.
I see your
Why do you-
hand.
hey,
Oh,
why do you have your hand up?
what are you doing?
I'm pointing. Oh, sorry. You
Pez
guys
just put his
can't.
hand over the thing. Now he looks.
You guys can't see it, but the OBS has my other camera, my good-looking camera.
I was laughing more that you were doing that.
Why were
So,
you doing
Bret
that?
Hart.
You're
Oh.
like, hey, look at all my cool. Oh, I'm green screen. Doesn't even matter.
So yeah. So anyway, my man Tim Thomas,
Timothy.
Byron Defoe, right there, all autographed. And Byron Defoe, I sent him a thing on Twitter, and I was like, "Hey, is this real?" And he goes, "Yep, that's my signature."
I
fan
like
to
his
fan.
brother as an actor.
Willem.
Yeah.
Will I
It's
am
really
Defoe.
really talented. Will I am Defoe. Like 3 levels deep now and just being wrong.
Yeah.
So what'd you guys do this weekend or past week? I know, Court, you weren't here yesterday. You got up to some.
Oh, wasn't here
last week?
yesterday?
You mean last week?
No, people
Um,
listen to this in order consecutively. They think it's
Consecutive.
every day.
Okay, so yes, I took my daughter to her first concert last week. That's why I wasn't on the show. We went and saw Wilco at Massey Hall in
Wiggles?
Toronto. No, Wilco. They're a rock band. They play music. Wiggles. It burns my ears. But we had a great time. Please don't do that. But it was interesting because she knows a couple songs. She was overwhelmed, but by 9:30 she hit a wall.
No.
Yeah, she goes to bed very early. Like
Mhm.
my daughter is sleeping right now. So she had this energy level, and I was feeding her full of pop. I was giving her lemonade. I'm trying everything
Smart.
in the world. It didn't matter. 9:30, she's literally, it was hilarious. So we're sitting very close. My seats were front row in the balcony, and we're right
That's
beside the
awesome.
stage. And she's got her head on the side, and she's just kind of fallen asleep. The lead singer of the band, Wilco, is like looking directly at her, and my wife and I are just like, "Oh, Jesus." He doesn't say anything, and he starts playing really loud music, and he keeps looking over at her. And like 5 minutes later, we left. So he's probably just like, "Oh my God."
Oh no.
Well, you know what? It was a great time. She got got her first concert poster. She thought it was the greatest thing in the world. She was very happy about it. And you know, it's an experience she's never going to forget. And so where we went and saw the concert was the very first place I saw a concert. And they actually had the concert poster up on the wall there. So I took a picture, and I showed my daughter, like, that's the first concert I ever went to, and here's where it was. And it was also the first place my wife ever went to a concert. So
Oh wow.
it was something we could share special with her, so that, you know, now she can say that she went to the same place that we did for the very first time, which is truly, truly amazing. And then we went and saw the Minions movie this weekend.
How was it?
Really?
Despicable Me 4?
Yeah, it was okay.
Oh, wait, I figure when they add a baby into movies, it's just not going to be good.
It was I think the interesting part was my daughter really likes all the Minions movies and the Despicable Me movies. And we came out of this one, I was like, "How do you like it?" And she's like, I don't need to watch it again." I'm like, "Really?" It I didn't think the plot was very good. I think it was it could have been a TV show. Like
Mhm.
they could have just done that on, on
Some
Netflix or
Peacock,
something.
like, yeah.
It just it's almost like the plot wasn't very believable. Like I know it's supposed to be a kids movie and it is what it is, and it's doing very well in the theaters. Like it's one of the number one movies of the year. But at the same time, with my 7.5-year-old was like meh, and I walked out going meh. It just I don't know. It wasn't as funny. Usually the Minion movies are hilarious, and I didn't find this very funny at all. I found I found it almost sad at some points. Like it was just like,
Yeah.
okay, like Groot's character, like his kid hates him.
Yeah,
Like
that too.
like
There's also a part I didn't like how when he I mean, spoilers for Minions when he was getting blackmailed, this kind of weird dynamic
agreed.
that made it
It would have been better if he
it was just
figured out
weirder than it needed to be.
it would have been better if like he figured out this person was what she was and
Yeah.
he was down with it and he wanted to like go to his bad side. It would have been way better
It's just a
than what they
weird
did. And then the whole like doing what they did to being found and really when they got found, it was so anticlimactic. Like it was like the whole plot of this story was for a guy to get back at his it was Carrie. Like, let's be honest, the plot is Carrie, and it just didn't make any sense. And I was just like, I don't know, this whole high school thing, and like he's taking offense to something, and the guy's a cockroach, and just I don't know,
uh,
man.
so my daughter's 5 and like she loved it. And like, yeah, I think this
Which
stuff
is
is
good.
silly. Like I whatever, it's but and I like how there's like a lot of like famous people in it. Like Will Ferrell is like the main like bad guy. So like being able to hear his voice like try to be French, like it's very funny.
Was that Will Ferrell? I thought that
Yeah.
was Paul Rudd.
Who knows? But whoever it was, excellent. But it's funny, my daughter was just like cracking up at everything because these Minions characters are
No,
just
you're right.
silly. And her and we were
You're
with
right.
her friends. Well, not her younger, like her friend's younger brother. He wanted to walk around the whole time. They were just cracking up the whole time. And what's funny is like we went to like a Walmart and she goes up to the vending machine and she's like, "I'm looking for a Minion in there," because there's like a running gag the whole time of a Minion being stuck in a vending machine. And it's just one of those like I'm like seeing it now. I'm like, oh, okay, like this is when
Yeah,
I've
but
seen
like
movies where I'm like, oh, like this is like silly, like whatever. It's like I'm like, okay, now I'm kind of seeing like
if you
who
watch the
gets it.
trailer, they're like, hey, it's about superhero minions. And once
Barely, yeah.
again, they were like 2 seconds in the whole thing, and that was it. What
Yeah.
you see in the trailer is pretty much everything you see of these superhero minions.
Yeah.
Like it was so they just put a movie together to make money because the story of Groot, that other last movie, that was great. It was very well done. This just felt like meh.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But what do I know? We didn't like my daughter didn't like Inside Out 2 either, so
Oh, I can't see
it's
that.
2 in a row she didn't like, but she's done. We just finished the 6th Harry Potter movie, The Half-Blood Prince.
Well, she
Yeah.
goes to
flick.
one more movie that she
Good
doesn't
flick.
like. She's legally not allowed to go for another year.
No, we
3
just
in a row.
she's loving the
Oh,
Harry
alright.
Potter movies. We've done
They-
all 6. We've done 6.
They are
Um,
legitimately good movies. My
yeah.
family loves them.
Spoiler alert, Dumbledore just died. And I think the movie is like 15 years old. Like I think people need to
Dumbledore.
let this one go.
Imagine.
going to sacrifice himself.
So
the Half-Blood Prince.
but my daughter's okay with all this death. So we're like, okay. So I said to her, I'm like, if you can do this, honey, we're gonna watch Goonies next.
Mm.
And if we can do Goonies, we might be able to do Jurassic Park.
I think you can do Goonies. The only thing about Goonies is the language, really.
No, there's only one swear word. It's at the very beginning, so I can just fast forward. Is when Chunk takes off the woo woo off the statue.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more for me personally. It's the Fratellis and the dead body at the beginning.
Mm.
It's Harry Potter is make believe.
Right.
Like she gets it that that's
Yeah.
make believe.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't like Voldemort, but She's over it now.
Good. She shouldn't. I'd be worried if she was like,
She
come
hates-
on.
No, she's
get
a big
Harry!"
Bellatrix Lestrange.
She's
fan.
a big Slytherin fan.
Big on Slytherin. Hey, this may shock you, but when I took my Harry Potter quiz, that was my house.
This may shock you. I got Hufflepuff.
I didn't
a
do
Slytherin.
that. I should. Can
I'm
I
a
lie?
Slytherin. My wife's a
For Nicola?
Slytherin. My oldest daughter's a Slytherin, and my youngest is a Hufflepuff.
What have
Figure
you
that one
done?
out. My
I
sweet
took
baby.
it twice. I got Ravenclaw, and I got Hufflepuff.
They
I
actually
wanted Gryffindor.
Ravenclaw actually makes a ton of sense.
For me?
Yeah.
It does. Yeah, there's sports,
does.
there's science. It does. It does make sense.
Yep.
Should I buy this Bergeron live on air?
Yes, you should.
It's
As long as
expensive.
it's not what I'm going for.
I hope it's the same one.
Wait, are you trying to buy it right now?
Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
What-
Why would I? No, I wouldn't do. I
Sniped
would not
Snipe
let you
show.
like
All
tell
of a
me
sudden,
about something you're looking for.
Waba hits the buy it now, and all of a sudden the red light on Court's thing goes on. That'd be amazing.
Dude,
Not
no,
only would I buy it, but I wouldn't pay it. I would make them wait 4 days before they can relist it.
because there's no way. So it's between. It's either I wait the 4 days and the 2 hours for the person that's got it at $3.90 for plus the $22 shipping, and I know that's the one Waba's probably hearted. So he get.
No. I'm not. I'm not gonna go after yours.
And then there's one for $4.99 free shipping.
Card or jersey? It's card, right?
Just his rookie card. It is a. Otherwise, they're 750, 566, 800, 799, 818, 999, 1091. Because if I buy this and then I PSA it, it's worth $1,000. Waba knows it.
Depends what depends when it comes back as. That's a tough part, but still, I mean, you want to protect that kind of stuff.
That's all right. You can break it and send it back. You can. That's what
Depends
people do. That's what people
Yeah.
do. See if they get a higher thing.
This looks like it's got a corner
Oh,
issue.
Guana. That's probably why it's
call him soft corner Steve.
soft corner, soft in the corner,
Like
just like Elias.
like a
Lindholm.
DH playing first base, soft in the corner.
Soft corner. Well,
Guys,
but
what you what
my
you do this
weekend,
weekend?
my weekend was yard work Saturday. Regretted it. Did about 2.5 hours of yard work in the sweltering heat, sweating my Bergerons off in the heat, digging holes, tempering down dirt, like basically like making things flat and level. And Saturday night, my hands hurt so much. I couldn't believe it. So Sunday, I was gonna go back out Sunday, but instead I went to my mom's and we grilled and went swimming. So shout out Ma Dukes for having a pool.
Mom Pez.
Mama Pez crushing it. That pool's like 25 years old.
Dang.
Yeah, it's old. It's old. So we just went swimming, and then I had 4th of July off, but then I had to work on Friday the 5th. So like we didn't do anything crazy. But after next week I go on vacation, so I'm just living. I just gotta make it through next week, and we're good.
Living the dream. Wait, are you going to be gone the week of the 24th?
Yeah. Week of the
Oh,
because I'll be in Sebago, Maine, living it up.
you want to
on
know
the
what's
lake.
weird?
What?
I'm going to be in Maine too. that
Are
week.
you?
Yeah.
So no
so,
show that week, people.
I'm going to be, I don't know. I'm actually going to be, I think, close-ish to there.
Great. Let's meet up.
And
Let's
then
go.
I have to drive back on Wednesday to go to the Blink concert.
Let's go meet up on the lake. Do a little
So I
jet
just
skiing.
messaged that guy because Waba, go on that because you know which one I'm talking about. Look at the top right corner.
Do you want me to message him a way lower price, and then when you come in with your offer, it'll seem pretty bit good? Are we allowed to do that? I wouldn't do that. Only in a video game. Casey Bay's listening.
He
In case you're
doesn't ask.
listening
There's
now.
no offers available. He can't place a. There's no
Oh,
offer.
jerk.
Wow, but what about you?
I
You also saw
essentially
Groove 4.
I saw
Groove 4.
Minions 4, The Streets. I basically legally robbed someone this weekend at a yard sale. I got 8 pairs of Lululemon for $5 each because
Get
hustlers
out.
gonna hustle.
That is amazing.
Well, one was Gymshark hoodie, but they're all really nice, and it's my wife's size, so she's keeping most of them. Some she doesn't like the style, so I'm going to sell them, and it's going to pay for it. So yeah, shout out that person for making a deal. Easy clap.
So
and
can I ask a
also-
question? Do you
Yes,
just
you
on
may.
like Saturday morning, do you wake
Mhm.
up at like 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7, have yourself a hearty breakfast of chicken and rice? Because I know that's the only thing you eat all the time. And then do you just go like to your ATM and just take out like $200 cash and then go off for the day?
So ideally, I already have cash from prior transactions. I just sold Wii Sports for $30.
This
cold
guy
hard cash.
is
You
just
churn it.
5-heading this whole thing right now.
So yeah, I mean, I go because my daughter wakes up super early. So I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do? Sit home and watch TV for a few hours, or do you want to go out and like be productive and look at stuff? And she'll look at the toys, and I'll get her stuff too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
cheap enough.
Yeah.
But I also found like some like goggles for her because she swims all summer, and sometimes I'll find like sports equipment for her because it's like we're just trying out sports. I got her like a bear, like this time, like she likes all that. But also too, I found her a Red Sox jersey, her size, a small one,
Nice.
for like what, like $5.
Dude, the guy's already
$2?
messaged me back.
He's because he's looking to sell. I did,
He's
however, find
giving me
some
attitude,
wrestling
though.
figures, including one John Cena. So I got to teach her about John Cena, an arena, and three other figures for $5. So that was a lot of good deals.
Are those are you gonna resell those, or are those to just let her
One
play
I'm
with?
gonna resell, but the others we'll mess around with them for a bit. She's having fun with it, and then eventually I'll get rid of
Tell
them.
her she has to put all her action figures in the ring, and then you shake the ring like a Royal Rumble until the last one's in, and that's who
The
wins.
corners have white.
That's smart.
The white corners,
Yeah, soft corners, no dice.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Good
like
thing, yeah.
like
good
Jake
thing you asked.
DeBrusque on a PK, soft
He
corner.
said the corners have white. Yes.
Womp womp, get rocked. But this weekend I also played a video game. I played Gigantosaurus, the new sports one from our friends over at Outright Games.
Shout out,
It
right.
is like the Olympics. It's Gigantosaurus Dino Sports, and my daughter loved it. I will say, so there's two modes. There's a kids mode and a grown-ups mode, which I thought was very cool. I found the grown-ups mode to be challenging at points, which was good. I still swept the floor with the other dinos. But the games are like really like, it's not just like Wii Sports where it's like, oh, you do one action the whole time. It's like, oh no, in this one you have to climb. This one you have to button mash to run. There's like a triathlon. There's one where you have to shoot these like flowers. Like the variety in it is like actually really cool. And there's a story, which she found silly. I don't know if the story repeats like throughout playthroughs. You'll probably end up skipping it. Really silly. I mean, totally voice acted too. It's a good game. And you can build your own like once you play through it once, you can build your own like thing. So if you want to do one mini game, you can. There's like 8 mini games in total, which I think is a decent amount. And then some challenges too. But a lot of good variety. She thought it was fun. I like that they have a kid mode. And yeah, I mean, if you have little ones, I would say like I like Court's daughter's age, I think they'd like it. But I think that ones that are a little younger, it's really good. And it's like Mario Party style mini games, more or less, like where there's a practice screen so you can try it before it actually starts. She's never going to break
cool.
my records though. I just crushed these dinos.
Crush her.
Yeah, like there's one game where they got like 1,000 points and I was at like 6,000 because and there's like a mini game too that's like rhythm game, but it doesn't sync up to the music and there's like some latency, but it was still my favorite one because I'm like, oh, like this is familiar to me. And they just like basically they're falling off a cliff like dancing and they pose and it's just. And there's a silly little story to go along with it. My daughter was like into it the whole time. It probably took us about like half an hour to 45 minutes to go through the story like once. Yeah. And I think there's some replayability if you want if she wants to kind of keep trying things. I think at her age she won't want to get a top score, but I can definitely see people wanting to go back. But fun game, liked it a lot. I think it'll be fun if like rainy day this summer if you need something to do with your kiddos. I think this is the perfect way to spend the afternoon.
I like it.
There's some other news that came out this weekend, some other things, and that has to do with One Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of you like to take it away and explain a little bit about what's cooking over at Xbox?
Gentlemen,
Ooh.
I don't know if you have heard the news, but what is cooking over at Microsoft up there in old Seattle, Washington, is a Game Pass price increase, and it royally screws over console players. But first, let's get into what is changing. If you head on over to 3dadsconsole.com, because I took out the air can, dusted it off. Game Pass is currently breaking up into 4 different areas, 4 different tiers. Game Pass Ultimate, which will pretty much stay the same. The price goes from $16.99 US to $19.99 US. Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass Standard is introduced for new members as of today. Xbox Game Pass Standard, $14.99 per month. No day one games, but full access to the Game Pass catalog. Microsoft, to my knowledge, has not stated when new releases will be available. Xbox Game Pass Core, $9.99 per month, online included, only a small batch of games, so not the full catalog. And then Xbox Game Pass PC goes from $9.99 a month to $11.99 a month, includes day one releases, full access to the PC lineup. So the reason that console players get the shaft is you have to decide what you want more. Do you want day one games? Yes or no? That's the question. Because if you do, the only way you can get that is to pay $20 a month USD. The problem, or I should say the screw job.
So almost $40 a month Canadian.
So the screw job, if you will, is you are the Montreal screw job, if you will. You have to pay $20 a month, or like $39.99 Canadian, for Game Pass Ultimate, where you can play it on Xbox, your Xbox console, and your PC. If you don't have a PC, you are unable to utilize 50% of that subscription, and that's just to get day one games. Or you say to yourself, I don't care, you got to pay $14.99, right? So I think they priced it so people will just say, it's an extra $5 a month.
Yep.
I'll just do Game Pass Ultimate. But you don't get day one games. And if you can't afford either of them, it's $9.99 a month for online. So your Xbox Live Gold or whatever the heck it was, in a small batch of games. I believe I read it was about 25, but unsure like what those 25 are. So truthfully, I think Xbox has screwed the console player, because you're either going to pay for day one games and not use 50% of your available subscription, or you're not going to play day one game. You're not going to pay for day one games, but who knows when you're going to get those event. Like, could be a month, could be 6 months, could be a calendar year. Who knows? Mm-hmm. And they are now moving to a model where they're not really going after the common man anymore, the common gamer, and they're starting to bleed their customer base a bit, money wise. So yeah, I don't love it. It's actually made me question if I should sell my Xbox, because I don't utilize Game Pass enough. So the only game I play on my actual console is MLB The Show. Other than that, I play everything on PC. So for me, like, why would I pay $20 a month when I could pay $12 a month and utilize the machine I use the most? So I wonder if a lot of people think that way, but I read this morning and really think it's a poor move on Microsoft's part.
Well, it's interesting also because they just announced that you're going to be able to, on Amazon Fires, you're going to be able to play Game Pass on the TV. So you don't even need the console. It's funny you said you sell an Xbox. I literally just sold an Xbox today. I still have I had 2 Series X's. I just sold one. Because I feel the same way. One, I haven't been using it at all.
Yep.
For next generation, if there's another Xbox, I'm not gonna buy it. I don't think I need 2 consoles. if I can't play those games, I can't play those games. I also have a PC, so I'm like, I guess I can just play it there. Like, it's really not that big of a deal to me. But I find this to be the obvious thing that was going to happen. We kind of called it. PlayStation did it before, but I don't see the value. It's literally the Call of Duty tax, so they can get their money back for Call of Duty. That's what this is. They paid a lot of money for Call of Duty. They're not doing well. Let's be honest. I don't care. You can be in the chat. You can say whatever you want. Xbox is not doing well. Their games aren't selling. The service isn't that great. Hellblade 2 was not a good game. Hi-Fi Rush was a great game. Pentiment was an okay game, but for some reason these games are reviewing very well, but that doesn't even equate into sales. So at this point, Xbox is just bleeding money with the Xbox brand. That's what they're doing. They're buying up everything and they're pulling a Spotify. They're like, well, look at how many subscribers we have. But when there's not making any money, because little to everybody doesn't understand, Spotify makes zero money. All that company does is bleed money, and that's what Game Pass is doing right now. And PlayStation's actually looking great when you look at their service. Like, look at PlayStation Plus. Their games that they're bringing out every month for the PlayStation Plus people, those are meh. But the games coming to PlayStation Plus, the service, Remnant, like, there's some good games month after month that keep coming to the service, and Xbox hasn't really added anything. Like, when Game Pass announces games now, I'm just like, wow, they've run out of money to bring games to the service because of all the money they put into this Activision deal. And I'm not a Call of Duty player, so I couldn't care less. I am in shock that they still haven't announced all these games coming to Game Pass. And I have zero reason. I have an Xbox. I'm looking at it right now. The only person that turns it on is my daughter, and to play Dreamlight Valley. If it wasn't for my wife, who was having surgery in September and wants to play Dreamlight Valley, so I'm going to hook it up to the TV, I would sell this other Xbox and I would just move on from the Xbox brand altogether. Because
Wow.
I only play on my PlayStation. I never play on my Xbox, and there's no game that draws me to it. Pez, as you said, you only play it for the free game. So technically, you're paying for Game Pass to get this game when you might as well just buy it for your PlayStation.
Right.
So
Or
you
buy
could
it.
sell
Or
the-
buy it during the Steam summer sale, like right
exactly.
now. You know.
Well, MLB The Show's not on Steam, but
Oh, right.
but what I'm saying is, would my Xbox Game Pass subscription lapse, I ain't renewing it.
Yeah. I actually might be doing that too, because I get so the big game for me on that was Persona 3 Reload, and I haven't played through it all. Other things had come up, and now it's at the point where I'm like, okay, well, I haven't played in a while. Do I go back to that, or do I just buy it for $30 on PlayStation, where I prefer to play, and cancel Game Pass? Because after a month now, or maybe a month and a half, I could have just bought the game and owned it instead of renting it. And I think Xbox has some good games that are for me. And again, I feel like I'm more like picky.
But you could play it on your
gamer.
PC. Like,
I could.
Fable's coming. I could just play it there.
And also too, there's a lot of other games that, again, fortunate to be able to do things like review. So like we're kind of in a different spot, but like I don't see a lot of games where I'm like, oh man, I want to play that. And if I do, why not just let my subscription lapse and then get Game Pass for another month? Like, I don't need to constantly have a subscription month to month, because there's no like deal. Like, it's just now you're gonna get charged $20. Okay, if I want to play this game, I'm gonna get Game Pass that month. Perfect. Now I get it right away for $20, and then I enjoy it for a month, and then I let it lapse. And I feel like Xbox is becoming the gym, where the subscription method, where the gym hopes to sell memberships, and they hope people do not show up. That is like literally what in the gym. Like, okay, yeah, like you might be saying, oh well, then I'm busy. It doesn't
Hold on a
matter if they're
second.
busy.
This is a very good analogy. You're
It
cooking.
is.
You
Let
want to
them
talk
cook.
business?
Let them
This is
cook.
my
cook.
wheelhouse. But they don't, because there's less wear and tear. They don't have to pay employees. They don't have to basically use resources. And if Xbox, you don't have to worry about downloads. I don't know if there's a kickback every time, rebate or whatever. Anytime somebody downloads a game, we don't know the details. They don't have to worry about server load. They don't have to worry about any of that stuff. They literally just want you to get it and forget it. The more you use Game Pass, the less valuable that subscription income is. So the goal, and this is a goal with any subscription, but I'm seeing it more so now with Xbox and with PlayStation, because I feel like when PlayStation comes out with games, I'm getting ones I really like. I do think Xbox has a lot to offer if you're a big EA player with EA Play, but still, you don't get these games like right away. Anyway, you get some, you get maybe a trial. There are 2 new, games coming out, the football games. Like, I don't know if it gives you any benefits of being part of EA Play. And it's just what I'm feeling. So again, the biggest game for me, Persona 3 Reload, loved it. I think I originally got into Xbox One High and Life game because the game looked silly, liked it then, but I'm not really getting a lot of value out of it. I think there's a lot of good games on there. Again, shout it out, right? They have a lot of games on Game Pass. But PlayStation has always been my preferred way to play. I'm going to keep my console. Again, I like it, but I have a digital only console that the subscription method isn't really good. So like now it's like, everybody shoehorned themselves into like digital only. What happens if you're like me and you're just not seeing that value?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand unless they project that these increases are going to make them money in the next, let's say 2 to 3 years. Like they do this like 3-year projection, right? If we raise it to this much by the end of year 3, we should have made blah, blah, blah. If you're not making a profit, what's the point? Because like at some point, if you're $1 million in the red and your price changes brings you from 3 million to 1 million in the red, you're still $1 million in the red. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just think it's a poor looking move for a console or a console maker that really hasn't put out anything of note lately. And I know like big things are coming. You're going to get your Gears of War and stuff, but
it sounds like those games are going to come to PlayStation. And to be totally honest, with the Xbox, I feel like I could wait till it all hits Game Pass and then be like, all right, I'm going to sign up for Game Pass for 1 month and play them all and then peace them out. Because I can play it all on PC and
Yeah.
it's the same.
Yep.
It's not any different. You can play it
Nope.
in the cloud. It's the exact same.
Yep.
So for me, I think I went heavy into the place. We've talked about Xbox forever, and we thought it's the best value in gaming. I don't think it is anymore because the entry to get in there and what they've been giving is not much.
The best value that you can get right now from Game Pass is playing old games. Again, I've never played like, old Cures. I know, well, but like if you get that like base membership, there's a whole catalog of things to enjoy. But why is Xbox relying? And this is maybe the challenge of them not coming out with new titles or spending all this money on companies that do annualized releases. Like, what is there to look forward to? And even so, like, they've positioned Game Pass as like, oh, it's coming day 1 on Game Pass. So now it's like everything is so dependent on this service.
Yeah.
It's just such a weird dynamic because it's like, okay, well, Sony has basically said like, F that, you're going to buy our games on day 1 full price.
Yes.
And Xbox basically went a different direction and said, no, you're going to buy our subscription and we're going to give you, this brand new game included. Again, not free, included. Right. And now you're seeing Sony kind of stay that path. And was it kind of the tough message to deliver in the beginning? Yeah. Did people get upset with them compared to other companies? Yeah. But now you have Xbox that's under delivering and overcharging in, at least our opinion. And it's like, who was right? Now, people can change their strategies all the time. Like, they're not set in stone. And frankly, I actually think it's good that they're changing it, even though I don't like the price and I don't like the reason and other people aren't happy with it. But it shows that they're consistently reevaluating and seeing what's happening. I just hope that they find a spot that lands one that's beneficial to them, but more importantly, that's beneficial to the customer to bring back that trust, to bring back that value. Because I think it's very interesting that the three of us, again, I'm a newer Xbox person. I know, Court, you're very involved in the ecosystem. Pez, you're, definitely involved on the, PC side too, to see that type of value. And all three of us feel the same way. And that's 3 different opinions. I've had this console for 2 years and I feel like am I happy I bought it? Yeah. Okay, fine. It's my first Xbox. But like, I've probably spent more time in the past few months playing Xbox 360 testing games than I have actually getting involved in, a newer title. And I wondered what the impact of these third parties that have gotten involved are seeing. Like, is Atlas going to see the same, return, the same interest when they release that like free DLC?
Right.
Because, like they switched. Is Call of Duty going to see the same returns, with an Xbox heavy, Microsoft heavy focus than they did when they were leaning towards PlayStation? Like, we don't
Yeah,
know.
but Call of Duty's still on. It's the game. The
It
only way
is.
to see is when the games aren't on both consoles. But it sounds to me, and like, I know these are all rumors and conjecture at this point, but I don't see how Indiana Jones right now is the only game I'm thinking about on Xbox where I'm like, I want to play that game. But I will, because my Xbox Game Pass subscription won't run out till next year. And like I said, I'm gonna keep this Xbox until my subscription runs out, and I'm gonna get rid of it, and I'm never gonna look back. I'm done.
Yeah. Don't blame you. Don't blame you.
It's crazy. And it's interesting because I feel like they've had some strong like directs, but I feel like the hype is probably the strongest asset that they have.
Dude,
Because so far they haven't really delivered on any of that yet.
today on social media, I unfollowed so many people because I was so tired of it.
He finally got me. He got rid of me.
R.I.P. Waba.
No, there's this guy on there. His name's is Boom.
Oh, you don't have to call
and
me.
Call
I
him
don't
out.
care.
His name is Greg Miller.
He's a huge creator, but in the Xbox thing, and he's pushing all this stuff all the time, and he's saying like, "Oh, no one said this when PlayStation did this." I was like, when PlayStation raised their prices, people rake them over the coals for weeks,
Mhm.
and all they do is gaslight over and over again. And I find that the Xbox people do this more than anybody else, and I don't get it.
Hmm.
Like, guess what? Xbox's decision to do this sucks. When PlayStation did it, it sucked. Oh, like it sucks. But with PlayStation, it's almost like I'm not giving it saying they're better, but it's my preferred console.
Yep.
I think the controller's better. I like their exclusives, but I have to pay for them. But they get me because I like their exclusives.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when on the Xbox, I don't like their exclusives. Starfield, didn't like it.
Oh,
Redfall,
yeah.
didn't
I
like
was
it.
excited for
Pentiment,
Starfield.
didn't like it. Hellblade 2, didn't like it. So why am I on this console? Just so Gears of War once every 10 years comes out?
Right.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. I think
I'm
it's
out.
okay to be critical
I'm
about
outie.
things you're passionate.
I could just
Things
buy
you're
my
passionate
wife
about.
Dreamlight Valley. All I gotta do is sign up and make
Yeah,
sure
that too. You could just buy the thing for $40.
Yeah.
That's
Actually,
2 months.
I could probably email Gameloft and ask for a code.
Well,
Like, let's be honest here.
That's not that typical.
They're Toronto
situation.
studio.
Oh, shout out Toronto.
Shout out T Dot.
You know what? I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
it.
I'm
Just
gonna
do it.
email
Just-
Gameloft PR and say, hey, do you think I can get a code for Dreamlight Valley? If they send me a code for Dreamlight Valley on the PS5, I'm gonna go into the Xbox, make sure you sign in so you can transfer all your stuff over, make sure it works. Boom, Xbox is gone.
Goodbye.
Like, it's gone. Audi 5000.
Bye,
Call
Felicia.
it
Sell
a
everything.
belly button because
I'll
it's
sell my Halo Master Chief controller. I'll keep my Emma controller, and then she can play Xbox on the PC.
Wild. I'm surprised there's so much feedback about people kind of like copium. Because it's like when you criticize the brands and things that you care about, that's a good thing. We do it with brands. I mean, we do it with the Bruins all the time.
We do with
It's something we're
everybody.
passionate about. I mean, we sure as hell do it with. Well, I don't know your guys, but I love. I really like EA, and I'm very critical about the things they do, especially when it comes to NHL. But that doesn't mean I think they suck or think their games it's just when you get passionate about something, it's okay to criticize because you want them to come out in the end, on top. And if people are unwilling to do that, you're going to continue to get changes that may not be favorable. But if you just kind of cope with it, they're just going to keep piling on because it's like, everyone was okay with this price. Let's jack it up another 30%. Nobody complained. Where does it stop? You have to push back and you have to give them. And a lot of times, and I see this a lot with small developers, smaller companies, they're like, you know what? You're right. We tried this out. Here are the reasons we screwed up. We're going to go back or we're going to change it. And that's okay. And then you get the companies that basically double down and then you have to worry about that. But it's okay. It's okay to be critical of the things you care about. Nobody's going to be upset, and the company might thank you for it if enough people do it, because then they're going to know that the direction they're going in is not their best one. Or they're, like I said, they're going to double down on it, and then you can basically leave. Like, and you can cancel Game Pass until you want, and they can lose out on. Like, I would spend, like, what is it, $20? If it was $10 a month, I'd spend $120 a year. Now I might just buy it for a few months, and now they only get $40 from me.
Right.
Okay.
Or you have people
Cool.
going to like sites that aren't necessarily trustworthy because they have sold stolen game codes before and buying years of Game Pass.
Yeah.
It was super cheap, right? Like super cheap. Like you can get like 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate for like $4 because it's just, I don't know how they acquire their stuff, nor am I going to tell you where it is. But that's how I mean, other people push their Game Pass subscription past, the next year or so.
But
Shame.
good stuff.
Guys, can I tell you something? There's currently a Steam summer sale going on. I completed for $1.99. I added the final game to my Batman Arkham collection, and now I'm gonna play through them in timeline order,
No way.
starting with
Ooh.
Origins.
Do you have Blackgate though?
No, it's not on computer, but
See how I ruined that? I'm sorry. I apologize.
you did. No, you do not apologize. But I'm gonna do Origins, and then the 3 Asylum, City, and Night, and we're gonna do it.
Are you going to? Do you think you're going to be a better person after you finish it, or do you think you're going to regret your decision? Are you going to live long enough to be a hero?
once you get past
what is it?
Arkham Origins, dude, it's all uphill. Asylum, City, and then Night. Which Night, like, I'm not super excited to replay Arkham Knight because the Batmobile tank missions are horrible, and Arkham City is my favorite one out of all of them. But yeah, I feel like nothing outside of now College Football 25, like nothing's super grabbing me. So I'm just going through the backlog. And like on my Steam Deck, I started a replay of Fallout 4 just because like I want to give it another go. I just had the Fallout itch, and 76,
one of my favorite games.
76 doesn't cut it because I don't like the idea of other people running around. And Fallout 3, while I love Fallout 3, it's old game old, just like New Vegas. Like old controls are very old and hard to get used to again. So I said, we're going back to Fallout 4. I'm just getting through the backlog in games I really like to play and experiencing them again.
Yeah.
I think that's important because we don't like necessarily do that. Like, I don't know if there's a game that you guys play annually, like that you love, so you just play it again.
BioShock used to be that. I do that a lot with BioShock. Every now and then I'll just replay BioShock because it's it's only like 8 or 9 hours.
Yeah,
whatever. I'll just replay. But Arkham Asylum is one.
What a great game.
But that's about it. A Division, but I don't know. I haven't been playing a lot of games. Like,
yeah,
I really haven't.
The summertime is not an easy time to play games because it's just like for me, despite the gingerous appearance that I have, and people think I hate the sun, partially true. When I'm inside and it's really nice out on the weekends, I feel guilty for being inside. So I go outside and do yard work, or the kid and I go to the field or whatever, or like I do my garden and stuff. And then I feel like when I come in from doing that, I don't want to play games. I'm tired. And like I don't have like a shut the brain off and go do something game. So I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like summertime's a very hard time to sit down and put in 4, 5, 6 hours of game time.
Yeah, and there's not a lot out right now. I know we've talked about it, but like we're coming up on it. But
it's kind of a desert. It's kind of a game desert. It feels like right now.
Indie games are like
Concord comes out on Friday.
Yeah, Concord's out, and there's a game until then that
Concord.
I started.
Concord is a city.
Concord, Mass.
Concord comes out on Friday.
No, this is a game about the revolution.
Please.
Right?
It's about a large.
game about the.
It's about a large
the-
plane, the Concord.
it's about
No,
how we free
one of
ourselves from
PlayStation's
British
biggest
rule.
games. Let's just not talk about the game that doesn't exist. The actual game that does exist.
Assassin's Creed
is
3.
co-
What was that main character's name? Concord.
That's so stupid. That- Sorry.
And Waba, why is it that a Patrice Bergeron rookie is
I
like
didn't buy it.
it's
I
like
didn't buy it.
yeah, I'm gonna buy it. It's 500 even with the corners because that's the cheapest you
Oh.
can get.
Here's what you do: get a text. No, I was gonna say flatten it out. You know what some people do? Do not do this, by the way. They actually cut the corners of their cards to make them, like, ever so slightly, so that they get fresh edges. And PSA will figure that out quick, and they will not grade your card. That is interesting practice that some people do. Do not do it. I'm not recommending it.
It's
You
just
heard from Waba,
500,
do not give
500
yourself
for
a fresh edge.
Bergeron is good price considering it'll probably be PSA 8 and a PSA 8 is $1,000 of a Bergeron. PSA
Girl.
10 is $2,000.
Shush. It's only gonna appreciate. It's free money.
Nope. Wrong
It's
guy.
the one card I want, and then it's on the list. It's like the top of the list. And then Pasternak. I can get a Pasternak cheaper than this right now. What Bergeron's worth more money than Pasternak?
Because he's beautiful.
Plus the rookie.
He's- I gotta get them all back. A Marchand's $300 now for his rookie.
Oof.
Collecting the Infinity Stones of Bruins players.
Oh, I sold them all to buy these 2 Xboxes. Then I can get rid of both these Xboxes.
And then Xbox screwed you.
Well, I don't say they screw. I don't care about the Game Pass thing. That's not the reason. I'm just because I don't pay it. Because then I got all this money because I sold my PSVR 2,
Shout out
And then
Sony.
and then I sold. Yeah, well, they killed that thing. That ain't my fault. And then I sold the Xbox, and I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna upsell. I'm gonna try and sell my Spider-Man 2 DualSense.
Ooh.
Selling it off. It's not nailed down to the ground. It's going on eBay. Look soon. Quartz toothbrush.
Ooh, that'll be a big seller. Big seller
will.
on the internet. But yeah, man,
Dude,
it feels like it's like summertime, like not many games are coming out. Like people go on vacation. And it's just like I don't know.
There's a game I've been very excited for. I just started playing it. I want to play it more before I talk about. I'm gonna do a full review because this is my kind of game. It's called Until Then, and it's giving me Space for Unbound vibes a little bit. It's a pixelated world, not as pixelated stylized as Space for the Unbound, but it's really kind of like a unique style, where you go left or like right, across the street, and you'll actually go like forward and back based on like where the things are happening. Got some good personality. Got some a little bit of school drama as well. But so far I'm really liking it. This is a game that I'm like, this is me. And apparently the soundtrack's beautiful, like piano, to the point where somebody right now is like has ripped the soundtrack and is like pirating the OST. And they're basically like, hey guys, like we're gonna put this stuff on Spotify. Like don't listen to like this person's like stuff, which good on them. But like that's how good the soundtrack is, where people are just like doing the wrong thing to get it. But no, it's given me those vibes. So could be a game of the year candidate soon. I'm really, really liking it. And really appreciate the folks giving me a chance with it. But yeah, that's like literally like what I've been looking for doing now. College football soon.
Next week.
I have a team. I have a team name. It's already next week. I have a
Next
team name.
week. What do you? Who is Waba Plays' first team builder team?
So
Why
can I make
is it
any team?
Why you can literally make any team you want?
It's gonna be anime related.
Yes, the Hitsanu Mikus.
No, the Karasuno. It is. I don't know if I'm gonna go Karasuno University, Karasuno Tech. Karasuno is from the volleyball anime Haiku, and they do like but there's a quote from it I like.
What are you even talking
It's
about?
gonna be the tagline. We're not here for the memories.
Ooh.
They want to win. It is cold as ice. That's from a different school.
Cold as ice. I don't know
But
what.
I'm very excited. Orange and black are the colors.
Cold
I love it.
as ice.
I believe If now they haven't talked about Team Builder. If it's anything like the old one, you could also upload your own logo.
Stop.
And it'll be on obviously like
crows.
wherever you want to put it, helmets, shoulder pads, but also like 50-yard line. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna do Team Builder in this one. I'm not sure yet, but I'll probably do. I'm definitely doing a dynasty, relegation dynasty, which
Hey, I'm
I've-
going to be playing this game.
which
You
I
are?
know,
When's it come out? When's it come out?
next
Next
week.
week.
Yeah, I'll have it.
I'm so excited.
Now, you
I have to
sound
review
so
it for
excited.
Console Creatures. Mm.
Yeah. I'll have it. Relegation dynasty. Shout out to European football for your relegation system. And then I've talked about it before. Billy Bungus, two-star recruit out of BC High.
I love that Billy Bungus is going to be a. He's coming to life.
Do you
Finally.
want an idea spoiler?
Spoiler.
Here's my idea. 4 years of Billy Bungus at university, goes to the NFL, gets suspended, comes back as a college coach, and I do a dynasty as Billy Bungus.
Billy Bungus, the revival. Like what does he get suspended for?
Gambling, obviously. He's from Boston.
From on his own games or
Gambling.
just on?
A little bit of both.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like Pete Rose level, or are we talking like?
Yeah,
Are we
people.
talking like the
we're
who's the
ta-
hockey guy that got in trouble for gambling, even though they have gambling on their helmets?
Shane Pinto.
Shane Pinto.
There we go.
No. Shane Pinto was only suspended for a year or two,
Half a year.
half a year. We're talking full league wide forever suspension.
Banned from the league.
Pete
Oh my
Pete
god.
Rose? You talking
No,
Pete Rose?
Billy Bungus.
I don't know who Billy.
Billy Bungus. You
Court
will,
was
you
not
will.
listening to anything that we just
Oh,
talked about.
Fun fact: Pete Rose used to have a restaurant in Florida where my family used to live. And
you want-
I
why-
would go to his restaurant, and it was basically Chuck E. Cheese but baseball themed. They had arcade games, and he would be there. And I have many a Pete Rose glass signed by him.
That's cool. That's very cool.
And they also had a was it Walt Chamberlain's, which was kind of the same
Wilt.
thing, but I only went once.
Wilt.
Well, I only went once.
there was just
He didn't. He went 1,000 times.
the basket of
No,
fries
I
was
went to
called
Pete
the,
Rose.
the basket
No
of
one
fries
got
was
my
called
Pete-
the
no one
100,
got my Wilt
100
Chamberlain
ladies.
joke.
Basket of fries. Did he like fries?
No,
I didn't watch basketball back then. I don't also watch basketball now.
horrible. Speaking of famous Florida restaurants, if you go to Don Shula's restaurant, your boy, when he was 18 years old, joined the 48-ounce club. Had a nice 48-ounce steak, name on the wall, my guy, and on the internet.
Don
Shout-
Shula.
Don Shula, yeah, ex-coach
Oh.
at the coach for
Miami
the
Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins back in the 70s. The famous
Undefeated.
Oh, in
Undefeated
Miami.
coach.
Shula's Steakhouse.
yeah, dude.
Wow. You know what's weird? Like when you started telling that, I was like, oh, there's video games there, right? And it's like a nice steakhouse.
No, it's a really
Every-
nice steakhouse.
Every athlete's place I've been to has video games.
So my friends growing up were super rich. So they would every year they'd go to Disney and they would stay at the Floridian. And my friend's mom would say like,
Your fan is on fire right now. It's just all I can hear is your fan.
it's either the fan or the air conditioner, and I don't
Okay.
care. Why is it loud? You want me to turn it down? Who cares?
Turn
It's
it
5
up,
minutes.
turn it
left.
up.
Turn it up. Turn it up.
Yeah, actually, I
Um,
just started hearing it now, so maybe you moved your mic. I don't know what's going on.
And they used to go to Shula's restaurant all the time. The most
There's,
expensive place in the world.
There's a steakhouse we went to, Ikanari Steak in New York, that has it. I don't know why, but they're obsessed with Bobby Valentine, former manager of the Red Sox. And there's pictures of him everywhere. They have it. It's open in like Japan, and like he would like go there, and people love Bobby Valentine. There's photos of him everywhere. He's like, they got like a TV running of all these like commercials. I couldn't believe it was like a time capsule where Bobby Valentine was actually a good manager, and people revered him for the good work he did. But no, he was none of those things. But for whatever reason, Ikanari Steak and the fine folks from that Japanese restaurant love Bobby Valentine in New York. Go figure. So Don't be Bobby Valentine, folks. Guys, is there anything you want to tell? Yeah. Is there anything you want? Any advice you want to
do
give
we-
folks before we say goodbye?
What is happening?
Advice.
Yeah.
I don't know. We leaving? Like we haven't even done our 10-minute Bruins talk.
Advice? Here's some advice.
I'm looking at the.
Don't go to bed with itchy bum. Wake up with smelly hand.
I don't know.
Oh my god, that is so true.
It is true. Don't
Yeah,
go to
you
bed with
did.
an itchy bum. You'll wake up with a
You will.
smelly hand.
Definitely will wake up with a smelly hand. He's not wrong.
Not
That
wrong.
would be the stinkiest, smelliest hand.
Maybe I shouldn't have asked for advice. Court, what's your sage wisdom for the folks?
Mark it here. One, I was correct. I specifically said the last time I was on here, the two people that the Boston Bruins were going to sign were Nikita Zadorov and Elias Lindholm. I may or may not have already had inside information. I do want to say the whole free agent thing for the NHL is an absolute farce. Like the amount of players that sign at 12:01,
It's so funny.
like the fact that I knew days before that. Well, Lindholm was like the biggest unkept secret, but like Zadorov, I knew 24 hours. Like I for the people who are listening, I do a YouTube channel called Bruins Diehards. Go check how quickly I got my video up.
My man, lightning speed. They called him Lightning McQueen.
You got a review code for the trade deadline.
Like seriously.
That was good. I like that one.
You got
was
it a
good.
week in advance.
Early
No
access.
troubles.
Like, I already had my video in the can, and all I was waiting for is to add in. I had to just splice in a section talking about how much money it was. So I recorded the whole thing. I knew exactly that it was Zadorov. I knew exactly it was Lindholm. And then I marked it on the time where I wanted to put in talking about how much they got paid. And then I spliced those in. So then when both signings were announced, I was just like, upload to YouTube. I had a guy in the thing. He goes, "You're just as quick as Elliot Friedman." I'm like, I know, it's crazy, eh?
Interesting.
It's so weird because they were too obvious. But I will say this: I'm making another prediction. These two signings were extremely good. Zadorov can actually play up and down the lineup. He can be top pair, second pair, third pair. It doesn't matter where you put him. He's going to be a monster. I actually think they're probably going to try him on top pair with McAvoy because it makes absolutely way too much sense because Zadorov plays a lot like Chara, except he can skate. And Lindholm, we're crying about. I know you're sad about your DeBrusk boy. Well, crybaby DeBrusk is gone. So Lindholm will probably get around 30 goals next year. And the Bruins are going to be better than they were last year.
A lot of people say, well, again, when I say a lot, I mean my network saying that they overpaid. And I'm like, what do you mean they had no center? Like they survived. Look how far they got last year with people outperforming. And now you're going to move Zacha to a spot that fits him better. And it's going to be unreal. Zadorov kind of confused me, but then I watched highlights of him and I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
that's why
the guy is a beast.
He mashes.
Oh my gosh. He reminds me of Drago. I will break you. Like this dude is gonna bodies are gonna hit the floor.
I mean,
and that's the kind of player we love here.
I think with Lindholm, I think people are, I like the contract. I actually don't think it's too long. And I think if you put talent around him, you're going to see the 80-point player that you saw in Calgary. Like that's going to be it. That's it. Who was he playing with in Calgary? It was like him. What year was that?
Johnny Gaudreau and
Gaudreau
Matthew
and Tkachuk. So
and now
it's
he's going to play with Zacha and Pasta.
And you can say what you want about Pavel Zacha, but he's better on his wing than he is as a center. So I think you'll see him probably anywhere between, if he gives you anywhere between 17 and 23 goals, that's good because Pasta's good for 45 to 50. Right? So if that first line can get any production outside of any production for Zacha, you've won. Because Lindholm is going to drive that to make that happen. That's why you got him. He's going to drive offense for that first line.
My only complaint is he's not from Czechia. I like the idea of having the Czech line.
Hold on. Oh man, when you say things, so Zacha and Pasta played on the world team together. They played on the country's team together. Oh, you mean Lindholm was not from Czechia?
Yeah, Lindholm, he said.
Oh, you're just
Like
gonna have
I loved when remember
Oh,
like Krejci
yeah,
and Pasta
Baba,
we had a check line.
So what?
It was nice.
You still
They all speak.
Oh.
It's just it's like
The
watching
things that-
three buddies who grew up.
that shouldn't be a this is what we need to make this team work thing.
Why? It's teamwork makes the dream work. Court.
It worked in the Mighty Ducks. They had the Oreo line.
I know what the best part is about this free agency is we have our starting goalie right now is some turd that we got fleeced on in our trade.
What are you talking about? I've actually
Corpusalo is our number one.
You know what, Pez? Waba doesn't watch my videos. He has no tact, and you're gonna have to go back. So
I don't let
Goalie
anyone
Bob.
influence my.
Goalie Bob stuck up for him, and he's the one who wanted him. So Goalie Bob, before he came to Boston, was in LA. He had Corpusalo there. If Goalie Bob is saying that Corpusalo is going to be fine, then I actually believe him. Goalie Bob was the reason Allmark is on the team. This guy knows his stuff. So I am not as annoyed with the Corpusalo acquisition as I once was. Heck, I heard a rumor that they could have had Chikrin and the first, and that was it. And they chose Mark Fistrick and Corpusalo.
Going to be crazy.
They must like that that kid, the center, the big center. They are getting
Hey,
big, man.
Dude, yeah. Mark
Good.
Jones is 6'4". Fistrick is. I keep saying his name wrong. I keep
It's
saying
like car
Fisting.
stick or something, isn't it?
Kostelic.
Car sticks.
Mark Kostelic.
Cars.
Kostelic. He's 6'4". The other guy's 6'3".
The kid they drafted,
Zazorov's
6'7".
6'6". Dude, they're freaking.
Dude, the
The
team
kid from
photo is going to be
Michigan.
awesome.
No, the
It's
kid
going to
from
be like
Boston.
a mountain range and then Martian. Can't wait. Good team photo. And this was your weekly Bruins minute. If you don't like the Bruins, go kick rocks. If you like the Habs,
That
also
was
go
a
kick
minute though.
rocks.
It wasn't long.
No,
No.
but that's what you get. I don't have any advice except I don't know, buy government bonds. I don't know. Guys, if you had fun, please make sure to follow us on youtube.com/2dads in a console, where you can see Pez cover his camera when he's trying to show us things on the wall, just like he did today. You can
That's
also find out
Lyceum.
you can also find our articles at 3dadsconsole.com,
.com.
where we got a bunch of fun articles and news and other reviews and things like that. I don't know. Also, if you want to search for anything else, go to google.com. All right, guys, we'll see you soon in the next video.
Go to
See ya
SG.
next
Bye,
week.
Felicia.